Now students, in this slide we have taken the example of simple pendulum. So as we know that simple pendulum does not produce any sound waves that we can hear, but it helps us to observe the vibration and understand the terms, that is amplitude, frequency and time period. So see the first figure, figure A. What you can see, a simple pendulum consists of small metal ball, we can say bob also, suspended by a long thread from a rigid support, such that bob is free to swing back and forth. Okay. Now see the next figure. The motion of the bob. Okay. So motion of the bob of the pendulum from one extreme position to other extreme position and back is called one oscillation of the pendulum. So here it means from B to C and again back to B. So that we are saying one oscillation of the pendulum. Now first is amplitude of the pendulum. So maximum displacement means maximum distance of the bob from its mean position on either side is called amplitude of the pendulum. So here you can see in figure AB or AC, we can say amplitude of the pendulum means maximum displacement from its mean position, from its original position, how maximum it moves. Okay. So that we are saying amplitude of the pendulum. Now second is time period of the pendulum. So time taken by the bob of the pendulum to complete one oscillation. So oscillation we have already discussed, that B to C and again back to B. So how much time taken by the bob, that is metal ball, to complete one oscillation, we are saying time period of the pendulum. Next is frequency. So number of complete oscillations made by a simple pendulum in 1 second is called its frequency. So here again see the figure, B to C and again back to B, B to C again back to B. So in 1 second how many times bob is completing oscillation? Okay, in 1 second. So that we are saying frequency. Okay, so how many times bob is completing oscillation in 1 second, that we are saying frequency. So SI unit of frequency is Hertz and it is being named after German physicist, that is Henry R. Hertz. You can see the image on this slide. Now students, let us discuss about characteristics of sound. So first is pitch, second is loudness and third is quality. Now let us discuss this one by one. So first is pitch. So pitch means it is the characteristics of sound by which we can distinguish a shrill sound. Shrill means sharp sound, from grave. Grave means flat. Flat sound even though two sounds have the same loudness. Now in this slide you can see when boy is beating a drum softly. Okay. So its skin will vibrate with low frequency, means less number of sound waves is produced. So low pitch, and what kind of sound is produced? Grave or flat sound. Now see the second one. A boy is whistling, okay, using a whistle. So high frequency, more number of sound waves is produced. So high pitch, and what kind of sound is produced? Shrill sound, means sharp sound. Now students, let us take few examples of it. So first one you will see that of tabla, image of tabla. So when skin of tabla or a string of guitar are tightened, they give out a sound of higher pitch. Okay. Now see the second one. When the wings of bees or mosquito vibrate with high frequency, so what kind of sound is produced? Shrill sound. Now third one, as you all know, we have discussed in previous chapter that voice of children and ladies are shrill. Why? Because they are having short vocal cords. So as they are having short vocal cords, so it vibrates more. So what kind of sound is produced? Shrill sound. Now in fourth image you can see the image of flute. So when more holes of the flute are closed, a note of lower pitch is produced, and when less holes of the flute are closed, the note of higher pitch is produced. Now students, let us make Jal Tarang through this activity. So aim is to make Jal Tarang. Apparatus, that is 6 to 8 balls or tumblers, 2 drumsticks or pencils, and water. Method. Now take 6 to 8 balls or tumblers, arrange them in semicircle. You can see in image that how it is arranged. Fill them with water up to different levels in increasing order. It means in first ball less water, in next ball little more water. Okay, so in increasing order you are going to fill water in each and every balls. Okay, now take the pencils or drumstick and strike the balls gently. So when you are going to strike all of them in increasing order, you will hear the pleasant sound. So this is our Jal Tarang. Okay, so from this what we have observed, that on striking on the balls causes the air in balls to vibrate. Shorter the column of air, the faster the water vibrates, producing the higher pitch. And as the height of the air column increases, the pitch of the sound gets lower. Okay, so from this what we have concluded, that pleasant sound at different pitches are produced in Jal Tarang. Now students, second is loudness. Now loudness is a characteristic of sound by which loud sound can be distinguished from the faint sound, even though both have same pitch. Okay, so when I am explaining this, observe the figure, observe the image. Okay, now if we strike the drum softly, okay, so what will happen? Its skin vibrates with a smaller amplitude. Smaller amplitude means you will see that size of waves are small. So what kind of sound is produced? Soft sound. Now see the second one. If we strike the same drum harder, so what will happen? Its skin vibrates with a greater amplitude. You will see that size of waves are becoming larger. So larger the amplitude, so what kind of sound is produced? Louder sound. Now students, let us discuss about factors affecting loudness. So some factors affecting loudness are surface area of vibrating body. Now here you can see the image of tabla. Okay, surface area is big, so more vibration, so more sound will be produced. If surface area is less, so less vibration and less sound will be produced. Now next is distance from the vibrating body. If you will stand near the loudspeaker, you will hear the more sound. But if you will be away from the loudspeaker, you will hear the less sound. Next is density of the medium. Medium we have already discussed, that is solid, liquid and gaseous. And density means mass. Okay, so when mass of the medium, okay, when the density of the medium is thicker, so sound will reach to us fast. But if density of medium is less, so it will reach us slowly. Okay, it will take time. Next is motion of the medium. Now motion of medium also we have discussed through experiments, that in solid sound travels fastest, in liquid sound travels slower, and in gaseous sound travels slowest. Okay, now loudness of sound is measured in a unit called decibel. So it has been measured in a unit called decibel. Okay, see the first one, rustling. So rustling of leaves. So how much loudness will be there? 10 decibel. Okay, and it means very faint. Next is soft, whisper. So when we are whispering, okay, so how much decibel sound is producing? Loudness will be there 20 decibel. And loudness will be faint. Next is normal conversation. So decibel will be 40 to 60. Okay, 40 to 60 decibel unit. And loudness will be moderate. Next, sound through speakers and all, that is loud music. So how much loudness is produced? 90 decibel, which is very loud. Now heavy traffic, decibel will be 90 and loudness will be very loud. Next is sound through machines. Here we have taken the example of pneumatic drill. So loudness will be 100 decibel. Okay, means very loud. Aircraft engine, decibel will be 140 and loudness will be painfully loud. And last is rocket at takeoff. So decibel will be 180 and loudness will be dangerously loud. Now students, let us discuss about third characteristics of sound, that is quality, which enable us to distinguish between two sounds of same pitch and loudness produced by two different sources. It depends upon the waveform of the sound. It means, quality means, like we have taken, we will take the example like if we are at home, if anyone is calling us, okay, so without turning back we are knowing that who is calling us, whether our mother is calling, father is calling, siblings are calling, friends are calling, okay, whoever is calling, without turning back we can understand the, we can recognize that who is calling us. So that is known as quality of sound. Now students, let us discuss about sound produced by humans. So sound is produced by the voice box or larynx. You can see in image. So where the larynx is located, it is located at the upper end of the windpipe, and two ligaments, okay, two ligaments called vocal cords, and then these vocal cords are stretched across the voice box or larynx in such a way that it leaves the narrow slit between them for the passage of air. Now students, let us discuss that how sound is produced. Okay, so when lungs forces the air through the slit, what will happen? The vocal cords vibrates, and when it vibrates, it results in the production of sound. And muscles attached to the vocal cords, to the larynx, can make the cord tight or loose. Okay, so when vocal cords are tight and thin, sound is of higher pitch, and on the other hand, when vocal cords are loose and thick, then sound is of low pitch. Now students, let us understand this through this activity. So aim to understand the working of vocal cords, apparatus, that is two rubber bands of same size. Method. Now take two rubber bands of equal length, place them one above the other and stretch them tightly. Now what you are going to do? Blow the air through the slit between them. So as the air blows through the stretched rubber bands, a sound is produced. So from this what we have observed, that if thin rubber band is used, higher pitch sound is produced, and if bands are very much stretched, then higher pitch sound is produced. So from this what we have concluded, that sound is produced as the air blows through the stretched rubber band. Similarly, when the lungs forces the air through the slit between the vocal cords vibrates and it produces sound. Now students, let us discuss about structure and working of human ear. Now we can able to hear the sound from our surroundings through our sensory organ, and that sensory organ we are saying ear. So our ear is divided into three parts, that is outer ear or external ear, middle ear, and last is inner ear. So when I am explaining this, observe this figure carefully. So first is outer ear. So outer ear consists of flap-like structure called pinna, which is on each side on our face. Now pinna is further connected to the ear canal, and at the end of ear canal what you can see is circular membrane called ear drum. So outer ear consists of pinna, ear canal and ear drum. Now next is middle ear. Now middle ear consists of three bones, that is hammer, anvil and stirrup, whose one side is connected to the eardrum and other side is connected to the inner ear. And last is inner ear. Now inner ear consists of cochlea. Now cochlea is filled with fluid and has many hair cells inside it. Okay, so till now we have discussed about structure of human ear. Now let us understand the working of human ear. So when I am explaining this, again observe this figure. So what you will see, what is the work of this pinna? To collect the sound waves from the surroundings. So it collects the sound waves from the surroundings, and sound waves will move through the ear canal and it will reach to the eardrum. So as soon as it reaches to the eardrum, it strikes on eardrum. So eardrum vibrates. So when it vibrates, what will happen? This vibration will reach to the three bones, that is hammer, anvil and stirrup. And what is the work of these three bones? It amplifies the vibration. Means it makes the vibration more louder. So this amplified vibration, when it reaches to the cochlea, what is the work of cochlea? It converts this vibration, this amplified vibration, into nerve impulses and sends to the brain through the auditory nerve. Now what is the work of the brain? Work of brain is to decode this nerve impulse and help us to recognize that sound. Means it decodes the nerve impulse into specific sound. So we can able to hear the sound. We can able to recognize from where this sound is coming or who is calling us. Okay. Now again let us understand the working of human ear through this flowchart. So pinna collects the sound waves from the surrounding and sends to the eardrum. So how it is passing? Through the ear canal and then it reaches to the eardrum. So as soon as it strikes on eardrum, eardrum vibrates. So this vibration will reach to the three bones. And what is the work of three bones? That is hammer, anvil and stirrup. What is the work of it? So they amplify this vibration, and this amplified vibration is being converted into nerve impulse by cochlea. Okay, and then what is the work of this cochlea? It sends them to the brain through the auditory nerve. And what is the work of brain? It decodes this nerve impulse into specific sound. Now students, let us discuss about audible and inaudible sound. An inaudible sound is further divided into two types, that is infrasonic sound and ultrasonic sound. So students, let us discuss about audible sound and inaudible sound first. So as we have learned that vibrating body produces sound, but if we vibrate our hand forward and backward, so what will happen? We can hear the sound? No. Why? Because its frequency is less than 20 Hz, which is not audible to human ear. So our ear do not respond the sound having a frequency less than 20 Hz, and even the frequency is higher than 20,000 Hz, we cannot hear the sound. So sound whose frequency lies between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz, which we can able to hear, are called audible sound. An inaudible sound is a sound whose frequency is less than 20 Hz and also whose frequency is more than 20,000 Hz, which cannot be heard by human beings, are called inaudible sound. Now further, the inaudible sound is divided into two types, that is infrasonic sound and ultrasonic sound. So infrasonic sound, so inaudible sound whose frequency is less than 20 Hz are known as infrasonic sound. So here we have taken the example of rhinoceros, elephant and whales, okay, which produces infrasonic sound. Next is ultrasonic sound. Now inaudible sound whose frequency is more than 20,000 Hz are known as ultrasonic sound. So here we have taken the example of dolphins, bats and porpoises, okay, which produces ultrasonic sound. Next is noise and music. So we hear different types of sound around us. So sound produced by machines in a factory, loudspeakers during functions, moving vehicles produces unpleasing effect to our ears and mind. So unwanted, unpleasant and very loud sound are called noise. So this noise leads to serious health hazards. So sound produced by musical instruments like sitar, piano, guitar produce pleasing effect to our ears and mind. So pleasant and soft sound are called music. So it does not cause any health hazards. Now students, let us discuss about noise pollution. So noise from any source. Any source means it can be from loudspeaker, it can be from heavy traffic, okay, it can be from moving vehicles, okay. So noise from any source that causes disturbance or discomfort of any kind in the environment is called noise pollution. Now students, let us discuss about harmful effects of noise pollution. So first, it increases nervous tension, irritation, earache, headache and high blood pressure. Second, it may cause lack of concentration in work or studies. Third, loud music during night time can disturb our sleep. And fourth, prolonged exposure to high level noise can affect the eardrum and it may lead to temporary or even permanent loss of hearing. It means if we listen to the loud noise for a long time, so it may lead to temporary and even we can become permanent deaf. Now students, let us discuss about measure to reduce noise. So to control noise, we must control the sources of noise. So following are some measures to be adopted to keep noise pollution under control. So first, automobiles should be fitted with silencers and soft horns. Okay, silencers is a device to reduce a noise. Second, horns of motor vehicles should not be blown unnecessarily, especially near hospitals and schools. Third, we should not play radio, television and stereo system too loudly. Fourth, airports and noise making factories should be shifted away from residential area. Fifth, use of loudspeakers at social and religious functions should be banned. Sixth, cars and other vehicles should not be play loud music while driving. So what will happen? It disturbs the concentration of driver, so which leads to the accident, and also it disturbs the residents of the neighborhood. Seventh, machines should be maintained in good condition. If it is in good condition, so it will make less noise. And last, avoid bursting fireworks that makes loud noise. Thank you.